If you're in Seattle, and you need to buy or sell a home, we'll be right there for you. Because we're the realtors that you can trust. So go to ronanddonsitdown.com.
You're listening to The Ron and Don Show on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
Hey, you guys, what's going on? And welcome to another edition of The Ron and Don Show. And we are right back here in the Les Rob studio.
What is up, Ron and Don Nation?
Hey, coming up on The Ron and Don Show, Ron and I did this once, and I guess it's like a competition now where you get like really old rations from the Civil War and you eat them. Remember when we did that?
Yeah, not with the Civil War ones, but yeah.
Also, coming up on the Ron and Don Show, we're going to talk about AI actresses. And Hollywood is not very excited about it. And while we're talking about Hollywood, I do have to talk a little bit about Keith Urban leaving his very famous wife. Did you hear about this after 19 years?
What happened?
You're going to have to wait. That's
Okay.
the tease.
Keith
That's the tease.
Urban.
I learned that in radio school. It worked. It works with you. It works with anyone. Does it work with
you? Didn't go to radio school.
That's true. Before we get to that, though, let's get to this. All the president's men, all the fat generals were just called together at Quantico. And I love that Pete Hegseth came out, who's in pretty good shape. I think he does a little CrossFit. And he said, hey, we don't want any fat generals. And then the fattest general of all, our president, came out, who, by the way, is the general-in-chief. He's like the general.
He is.
He doesn't want fat generals either. Evidently, they don't want African Americans because they're saying, hey, if you have certain types of acne or certain types of hair and it can't be shaved off, then they're kicking you out of the army. It sounds like women, they're going to be allowed to come in and serve, but we don't know if we want women to fight. And then also they talked a lot about the fact that we don't want fat generals walking around. Your thought on the fat generals?
Well, if I'm gonna let me rewind a little bit because to be serious about this.
Are we going back to Keith Urban? Because
No.
that's the second segment.
The fact that this happened on that he makes this announcement on a Thursday, the Secretary of War, which is still the Department of Defense.
And we
they
are at
haven't
war
changed the
with
name.
Portland right now.
Yes, we're at war with Portland because the president saw footage from 2020 that he thought was live.
Right.
So here's the thing that boggles my mind on this.
He called the mayor and the governor there and went, what is going on there? I can't believe what I'm seeing on my TV. And they're like, Mr. President, that was 5 years ago.
So they the thing that really boggles my mind, and Hegseth was a major in the reserve, so he does have some military experience.
He served his country, yeah.
Strategically,
And he's
to
super
say
fit.
we're going to take every high-ranking military mind in the United States military from the entire world, and we are going to put them in the same location at the same time and announce what the location is
At what time.
and when they're going to be there
Yeah.
is got to be among the dumbest strategic moves of all time.
Yeah.
So that's incredibly dumb. You can just fill in the blanks of what could happen there. Second thing is, if you've ever been, like I had the honor when we did the Operation Airlift Japan of meeting the Admiral in Misawa Air Force Base. And I got a tour from a general.
Was he fat? Was he fat?
No, he was not. He was
Okay.
he had the flight suit on.
Air Force guys usually, I'm amazed. The flight suits that they can wear when they're in the military, sometimes you'll see them at a memorial or you'll see them at a parade. And they can still put their flight suits on. There's something about those Air Force guys and gals where they are always
they stay fit. He was
they're always squared away.
very
and fit.
generous.
Yeah,
I
awesome.
was a nobody from America, and he took time.
Still are.
Still am.
He still is.
He took the time to. I went in his office, had a meeting. But my point is when I toured this joint base that is in charge, basically, of defending America's interests in the Pacific.
We
there.
dropped off, I think, 13 semis
About
full of
over
stuff
$1 million
for
worth of
kids,
stuff.
and we adopted over 500 kids after tsunami. So that's why Ron and Rachel went over to cover the story.
It is not insignificant to say, leave your post, fly from Japan to Virginia in the span of you get the news on a Thursday, you got to be here on Tuesday.
And you're not flying in a Cessna. You're probably flying like in a C-130. You talk about the money that it costs to bring all those generals in, and they're like,
and also
I got a C-130. Watch me roll in my jumbo jet.
Bring your high-ranking officers as well.
Yeah.
So you're taking the head of the snake or whatever from this particular base, and then you're doing that worldwide. So imagine that you are the highest-ranking American officer in Iraq, Afghanistan, Qatar, like the Middle East, Kosovo, Europe, near the Ukraine, like wherever we have these posts. Let's all come in. So you're going, okay, this is going to be a very important message. Whatever's going to happen right now, this is going to be of the utmost importance for American security. And it turns out to be two guys saying absolutely nothing about nothing. Like saying we need to have a warrior ethos. I'm sorry, but these guys are in the field.
We've had a warrior ethos.
Practicing the warrior ethos. And then to talk about, oh, well, hey, we need to have male fitness standards. And if the women can't keep up, then the women can't.
We've already
operate.
had fitness standards. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see all the women, not only that serve, but that were in combat. Anyone that is listening to this podcast right now, they will kick your ass. I know they kick my ass because a lot of them are my adventure partners. And the thing about war, it's not the redcoats are coming and the redcoats are coming. It's not like they line up and say, you stand over there in that field and we'll stand over here and we'll shoot each other. And then at 5 o'clock, we'll all go have tea. It doesn't work that way anymore. So for her, and her job when she was in combat is to roll around and find every dead soldier, Marine, airman that got blown up and to go through their pockets, find their identification, doing so while under artillery fire and firing back because people tried to kill her. And she did this with other Marines, very capable Marine. I've known her for 22 years. She was in country. Her name is Sergeant Kathy in Afghanistan and Iraq. She lost her very best friend while she was over there. We met him. His name is Corporal Jason Dunham. Give him a Google. He got the Medal of Honor. There's currently a military ship named after him. That was her very best friend that she had to bury when she was over there. And the thing is, you know where the battle line is drawn? Wherever the insurgent decides, because they don't wear uniforms, to blow you up with an IED. So to say that women haven't been in combat and women haven't served with valor is ridiculous. And then to say that push-ups are important, let me take you to a yoga class that a friend of mine teaches. I have no idea how many push-ups she can do, and it doesn't matter. Push-ups, sit-ups, all that shiznit, how many jumping jacks you can do, what can you run a mile in. Women today specifically, when I go into all my exercise classes and do all my extreme sports, it's the women in there that are kicking ass. Same on the battlefield. They have done research after research after research. And when you take women and you mix them with men and they go into battle together, those units kick ass. And to say, oh, we're going to have a different standard now, different than the standard we already had. These guys are a joke, and you're spitting in the face of great women across this land that have served their country, that have been in battle, and they've done it with valor, courage, and doing it with non-machismo. How about that?
And I love, one of my favorite parts is...
I just want to say... just want to emphasize that, Ron!
One of my favorite parts of this is, so these generals are all sitting there, and they are charged with being apolitical.
Yep.
They are, when you have the uniform on, they're all sitting in their uniforms with their dress uniforms on. You are not a Democrat. You're not a Republican. You are a U.S. service member. And so they're not, going back 200 years, you do not respond to political speeches. You don't respond. You are there as a soldier, and you are with the commander-in-chief. And so,
unless you're a Marine.
Donald Trump comes in and starts doing his shtick, and nobody responds, which is what they're supposed to do. He was not ready for that. He didn't know that that was the culture, because the protocol. And as the commander-in-chief, he had, I guess, never spoken to all the generals. And so they just sat there. Nobody was kissing his butt. Nobody's laughing at his dad jokes. Nobody is applauding some of the rhetoric that they used. And so his speech turned into begging for applause, basically.
And then also saying that they're going to send the military into cities. And I can tell you, when we lived in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina and they sent the military down there and more police, what happens is at some point the military already leaves, like they did in California. They for the most part have left. They were there for 60 days. This is just cosplay. This is using our military for cosplay and for power and for headlines. Because you guys, this is all a television show. New Orleans right now has the crime there is worse than it's ever been. If you want to send in the military, you can send them in. But if you're going to solve crime in a major city like that, what you really need is you need to pay police officers more. You need to give them better training. And you also need to have uniformity. The type of training that Seattle police goes through compared to New Orleans is apples and oranges. When I lived there, if you want to be a cop in Albuquerque or you want to be a cop in a place like New Orleans, starting pay was between $14,000 and $23,000. You know what starting pay is here? It's $116,000. And then if you hang out at the casino and you do other off-duty stuff, you can make $200,000, $250,000 a year. And so you attract what you attract. The best, these are very hard problems. You don't solve these problems by sending in the military for 30 and 60 days because it doesn't solve anything. They don't make inroads in the community. They don't make connections. Why do you think we were in Afghanistan for 20 years? And then as soon as we left, all the crime returned. Because that is not how you fix that kind of problem.
Would you
fix that problem, hang on, with diplomacy, with connection, and also with training people and paying them a fair wage. People in the community that know those neighborhoods. And right now, places like New Orleans, Detroit, even Seattle, we are under-policed. Rolling in the military with guns and then saying we're going to go full force, whatever that means, that's a bunch of bluster. You can't go full force. I know the red meat MAGA people love that, but you can't do that. You can't do a lot of the things that he's wanting to do, but they are winning the day when it comes to TV, and that's all that is. I'll give you the final.
As these generals and admirals all return to their posts around the world, do you think this was a net positive or neutral or net negative?
I just answered that. Answered that. No fat generals! That I agree with. Damn, this is a crazy time we live in. More in a minute.
If you have a friend that is ready to start their real estate journey, send them to ronanddonsitdown.com.
All right, you guys, let me take you back to 104.7 ZZP, Arizona's hit music channel, starring Ron, Don, and Jackie West. And then Jackie would usually do the gossip. Jackie's not here.
She is not.
I'm here, so I'm filling in for Jackie today. Let's talk about Keith Urban.
Yeah, let's talk about Keith Urban.
You know who he's married to?
Nicole Kidman.
They've been married for 19 years. How many kids do they have together?
I don't know, but Nicole.
They have two. How old are they?
I don't know.
They are
18, 19.
I think one's like 16 and one's like 14, something like that. I'm spitballing. And then she has two adopted children with Tom. How many kids do they have?
Tom Cruise and I think they had 3.
They have 2 adopted kids, so she has 4 kids.
Okay.
She moved to Nashville.
Well, Tom has a kid with Katie Holmes too.
He has kids with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Evidently that mission was possible.
Hey-o.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm reading TMZ the other night, and I'm also in touch with In Touch magazine. You know I read In Touch.
You read People like you're all over the map.
I read it all. Anyway, come to find out, Keith has been on the road, comes back to Nashville. He's been recording. Guess where Nicole's been?
Hollywood?
Turn on Netflix, because every time you turn on Netflix, she is starring in something else, right?
She's a great actor.
And some of the stuff is pretty sultry, to be honest with you. And I guess she was just in a movie that's very sexual, and
yeah.
I got to see this. In Touch magazine really like lit my fire after they described this show. I don't know what it is, but I got to see it. Hopefully the kids aren't around. And anyway, the 2 kids, they love to travel, so wherever she goes, they go.
Okay.
And the reason...
Listen, you told me to interrupt if I have some.
Yeah,
so
what do you got?
Nicole Kidman shares 2 children, Bella and Connor, with ex-Tom Cruise, and 2 daughters, Sunday and Faith.
With Keith Urban.
With a strained husband, Keith.
I just said that. You're correcting something that didn't need to be corrected, Matt.
I'm not correcting
It's
anything.
outrageous.
I'm telling you their names are Sunday and Faith. You don't have to say these 2 kids anymore. You can...
Thank you. Thank you. That's helpful. So anyway, Sunday and Faith, they have passports and they travel with her. And she's never back in Nashville. And it got leaked out through In Touch magazine since she's never back. It's like, hey, Nicole, if you'd like to have a relationship, I'd like to see you once in a while. I think that's fair. Anyway, I guess
Keith is communicating with his wife through In Touch magazine.
Well. I'm glad you brought this up. I got some new information in the gym. I'm getting ready to squat. I'm getting in the squat rack. I'm between a set, and then I pick up and I get binged by In Touch magazine. Guess what?
They're divorced.
That's what. No,
What?
Guess what?
I don't know.
He's been seeing a younger woman
Okay.
in the biz.
All right.
Nobody knows who it is. Evidently, she's in Nashville. He's in Nashville. He's going out on tour. He's with her. I don't think he has broken this to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, any of the kids yet. I don't think any of them know. So it's coming out in Touch magazine, which means the kids are going to have to go through a lot of therapy. But you know what I say? You're going to have to go through therapy for something, because us parents, we don't always get it. Like my kid, he's got it. You know he's going through therapy for something, right?
Oh, he's going to mess up for life.
Yeah,
There's no
I always
doubt
tell
about
him
it.
that. I'm like, hey, I'm going to lead you a little extra change. If you got to go through some therapy or something I was doing, just know this. I was doing the best I could with what I know, because that's what parents always say, even when it's not true.
You're doing as good as you could do.
We don't know. Anyway, and then I get a ding from people. They say they're going to try to get back together. I don't think so, because Sunday and Monday, the parenting plan is out. They both make. What do you think they both make a month?
The kids?
The parents.
Oh, the parents?
Yeah.
In income?
Yes.
It's hard to say because
Child support worksheets, they both report $100,000. I think that's bullshiznit. I think if we check
you
with the
average
IRS,
it out, because like when Keith's not touring, he's not going to make
we
a
don't
whole
know.
lot of money. And
It
then when
seems
he
like
is
he's
touring-
always touring. And it seems like she's always in movies. They say last year she was the highest paid actress in Hollywood, which is not hard to do because no one's in Hollywood anymore.
Can I just real quick as an aside applaud you for talking about some contemporary entertainers?
Yeah.
Good job.
Well,
because I listened. You sent me the
I had some
episode
time.
of the Brady Bros.
Yes.
And so I was like, you know what?
Yes.
I've been ragging Don
Thank you.
about the Brady Bros. I'm gonna listen to this episode with Danny Bonaducci. That is the worst broadcasting
It makes it so great.
in the history of broadcasting. Like,
That's what's great.
I have heard
That's what's great.
now the FM 91 out of the high school on the east side.
Yeah.
Better shows on that station. This was the worst show.
Well,
I made it through about
What's one thing you learn if you really listen to it?
that. Our friendship is strong because I tortured
No.
myself
I don't think you did.
with
What's one
15 minutes?
What's one factoid you learned?
That they were supposed to fight. Someone's supposed to fight, and then they didn't fight, and then there was training.
Yes, celebrity
And
boxing. They started it all.
and that $10,000 is a lot of money to Danny Bonaducci.
It's still a lot of money.
To Danny Bonaducci,
Yeah, he burned through all of it.
10 grand.
Yeah, I think so. 10 grand is a lot of money to me.
Keith Urban wipes his butt with 10 grand.
Oh, more in a minute. Thank you.
Thanks for being a part of the Ron and Don Nation. Subscribe to the Nation News at ronanddonsitdown.com. A behind-the-scenes look at everything Ron and Don.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the Ron and Don Show. There's a new sport out there where you're supposed to find 100-year-old rations and you're supposed to eat them.
I don't know if it's a sport.
We did
it's a
this back
hobby.
in 2003. Ron and I locked ourselves in a movie theater in Grand Rapids, Michigan, home of the Whitecaps, which is a 1A baseball game, right? And then also they did
And the home of the militia.
they did arena football, remember?
They did, yeah.
50-yard indoor war. If you don't like that, you don't like arena football. It's a 50-yard indoor war.
Sidebar: have you done your motivational speech to the Lincoln Lynx? Because I went to the game.
You went to the game.
Very good performance. It was a great performance.
Thanks.
They your son got a sack.
Yeah.
That was nice to see.
Nice to see.
There was a defensive lineman that looked like a baby giraffe, just like lanky arms. 2 interceptions.
75.
That kid could not have had a better game.
So my friend John was there.
But you were supposed to give a motivational speech.
John was
to the Lynx. And I'm wondering if you gave it
Hang
before
on,
this
hang on.
game.
John, the other photographer, that's his son. That's the first year his son's ever played.
He did great.
I kept telling the interceptions. Basically, I get credit for him.
How are you getting credit for?
I told John in the gym. I said, "Hey, I saw your son playing basketball the other day. Why is he not playing football?" He said, "Never thought of it." And then I saw his son in the gym. I'm like, "You know what? We need you to come play football this year." And so they threw him out there. And then actually one of the plays that they scored on, I called, I created. And then also, if he's not on that field, he doesn't get those turnovers. We don't score those points. We don't win. So I give myself a lot of credit for that.
Okay, did you give a motivational scream fest to the youngsters?
I'm saving this one up.
Okay.
I'm saving this one up because this week we got Nathan Hale.
Can I ask you?
Nathan Hale has 3 fields. We have no fields,
I'm
and we're going to
asking-
kick them in the. We're taking out Nathan Hale this week. If you don't like that, you don't like 100-yard outdoor war.
Serious question.
Remember
Why
that
is-
voice when we were on
yeah.
KLQ?
It was-
and
why
Michigan?
is there such a disparity among facilities? Because like the previous game that I went
You're
to.
just trying to start.
No, I'm serious. Like one school has stands, another school doesn't have
Yeah,
stands.
all those-
One school has a field, the other school doesn't have a field. One
that-
school has 3 field. Like what's going on
All
there?
those kids are white and those kids are black. Next question.
Okay.
No, look at the Franklin field. Those are black and brown kids, and that field is a piece of shit. Go up to Ballard or go up to Roosevelt, where there's more white kids, which are more white parents, which they're more pushing from those parents. Just come and sit in the stands. Like
Well, there were no stands at the game I went to.
exactly.
That's my point.
Yeah, there is
Like
no.
that's abhorrent.
That's Franklin.
That is
Every
abhorrent.
school in Seattle is supposed to have the exact same utility field, stands, and lights. And that has not.
There was a
happened.
levy passed
And
for
that's
that.
and that's why we went and we got the field built
I
at
actually
Cleveland.
thought that there was a varsity field that had stands and that we were playing on the JV. That's the
You go up to
varsity-
Nathan Hale. They have. It depends on what happened when the schools got mothballed, and like Lincoln got mothballed for 30 years. There's a lot of movies that were filmed inside, and it just went to crap. There were mice running all around that. And then what happened because of the tech boom? The Seattle Public Schools had hung on to all these schools, but they didn't hang on the fields that are so Ella Bailey Park, for instance, the one in Magnolia. When you see the field that was attached to that school, that elementary school, it's gone because they gave it to the city of Seattle. The city of Seattle turned all this into parks. They don't want to give the parks back because the parks they rent out and they make a lot of money. They do all the maintenance. Once in a while, you can rent the park back from the city of Seattle. So at Lincoln, our park. When you go up near 45th, you can see where our field used to be. It was given away. And anytime there's a median in the neighborhood, because people walk their dogs there, and that's where their dogs take even though it's not a dog park, the city likes people walking their dogs there because tents don't end up there. So it's kind of a catch-22.
Tents wouldn't up there if the kids
So
were practicing
we have to
every day.
bus up to Ingram, which is a nice field, but we have to wait. Our kids don't get done practicing until 10 o'clock at night.
Well,
I pay for all the buses to send the kids up there because there are no buses.
It's
They won't pay for buses.
Sad to like.
It's very sad.
So watching that game was like, this is. I was glad to be there, and the game play
Go
was
in the
fun.
gym. Go in the gym when you see.
But the fact that you can't get stands.
when Gunnar wrestles, go in the gym. You will see all kinds of superstars from football to baseball to basketball. All their banners hang in that gym. That school has a rich history, and then you go out and you see that field and the way that it's treated. And a lot of that's because a lot of times black and brown parents, they're at work. They're not at the school board. They're not applying pressure. A lot of times in other neighborhoods, like at my neighborhood, for instance, we got a lot of white parents there, got a lot of people of influence. One parent works, one doesn't. They're on the PTA. They're over-involved at the local elementary school.
It's not like those aluminum stands are $1 million to erect. Like, come on, people.
You are really upset that your ass didn't get a place to sit
No,
down.
I think that
You
it's-
can't stand for a couple minutes to watch my son's greatness?
No.
Okay.
Why is he the only kid that wears the leggings?
The leggings?
He wore black tights under his pants.
I bought him those.
He's the only kid on the squad.
You don't
that
think
had
they're
it.
cool?
I'm saying he's the only kid that
That's
wore
why he
them.
wears them.
All right.
Sometimes he takes the leggings off and he puts them on his elbows.
Okay.
And then he wears he wears eye black, but just under one eye.
I like that he's expressing himself.
Yeah.
It's easy to pick him out of on the field, though.
And then he had to have these white gloves. He doesn't wear them, but he likes wearing them in the back of his pants.
He's got all the gear.
I asked him. I said, "How come you don't wear the gloves?" He goes, I just need him just in case. But he likes hanging them out the back. And then this week we had to get a back plate.
My favorite
we have
thing,
a new back
this
plate.
is not a critique.
And he does have the coolest shoes.
But I coached him for 3 seasons in flag football. When he's playing guard, he pulls like a mother.
Yeah.
And then he gets around and goes up the hole. He has no idea what to do then. He's in the second level of the defense, and he just kind of runs around.
Yep.
Which is, I don't know if they've taught.
It's JV football.
It's JV. It's like you just went right by the linebacker that was your assignment. But he looks good. He's doing it with purpose. I like it.
God, Ron. Why couldn't we stay focused on the sack?
The sack was great. Sack was real nice.
Against number 59. That guy was
Dude, there was
394 pounds.
There was a kid.
He's double teamed. He swam and swat the double team.
That kid
he went
on
across the
Franklin.
face of the center and the other guard, and he got a solo sack and in the backfield of the quarterback. And instead, you want to point out something that my son did wrong, and you don't like the way he dressed, and you didn't have a place to put your fat ass down on a bench somewhere. Boo hoo! Bring a lawn chair. More in a minute. What were you going to say?
I think that's the last segment.
Hey, you guys. Thanks for listening to the episode of the Ron and Don. Did we get everything in you wanted to say?
For more inspirational football speeches, go to dono'neill.org. Hey, we're also real estate brokers. We would love to meet with you, talk a little strategy on buying or selling.
Yeah, and Ron, if you have children, he'll talk a lot of crap behind their back.
Hey,
if you invite him over
if you
for a
pull-
family event and he doesn't have a place to sit down.
If you pull and you're in the second level of defense, block somebody.
Yeah, find some work.
This portion of the Ron and Don Show brought to you by ronanddonsitdown.com.
Until
Put a
next
hat
time.
on a hat.
Until next time, everyone, you keep your head up and your shoulders back. And you've been listening to the Ron and Don Show only on the Ron and Don Radio Network. Go Quakers!
Thanks for listening to the Ron and Don Show. Please hit subscribe.